As you all learned, as I did on this flight, some very sad news. Close that door. Thank you. We learned of the death of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who was not only a giant in the legal profession, but a beloved figure. And my heart goes out to all those who cared for her and care about her. And she practiced the highest American ideals as a justice, equality and justice under the law. And Ruth Bader Ginsburg stood for all of us. As I said, she was a beloved figure. As a young attorney, you all know the story. She persisted, overcoming a lot of obstacles for a woman in practicing law in those days, as well as she continued until she moved herself in a position where she could end up changing the law of the land, or leading the effort to provide equality for women in every field. And she led in the advance of equal rights for women. It's hard to believe, but it was my honor to preside over her confirmation hearing. I got to meet her at the time, and she and her ascension to the Supreme Court. In the decades since, she has been absolutely consistent and reliable, and a voice for freedom and opportunity for everyone. And she never failed. She was fierce and unflinching in her pursuit of the civil and legal rights of civil rights of everyone. Her opinions and her dissent are going to continue to shape the basis for a law for a generation. And tonight and in the coming days, we should focus on the loss of the justice and her enduring legacy. But there is no doubt, let me be clear, that the voters should pick the president, and the president should pick the justice for the Senate to consider. This was the position of the Republican Senate took in 2016, when there were almost 10 months to go before the election. That's the position the United States Senate must take today, and the election is only 46 days off. I think the fastest justice ever confirmed was 47 days, and the average is closer to 70 days. And so we should do this with full consideration, and that is my hope and expectation what will happen.
There is nothing that I could say that would even come close to doing justice to what Ruth Bader Ginsburg has brought to this country, nor do I think I need to. It should go without saying that even at 5'1", she was an absolute giant. She leaves a legacy that few Americans will ever come close to matching. But the unfortunate truth is that we can't even mourn her passing because we've now been thrust into a vicious fight for the future of the Supreme Court. And that is because Republicans have already announced that they will attempt to fill a vacancy with a justice put forth by Trump. McConnell, within an hour of Ginsburg's passing, released a statement saying, quote, "President Trump's nominee will receive a vote on the floor of the United States Senate." Within an hour. And you might remember McConnell from statements like this one in 2016.
Mr. President, the next justice could fundamentally alter the direction of the Supreme Court and have a profound impact on our country. So, of course, the American people should have a say in the court's direction. It is the President's constitutional right to nominate a Supreme Court justice, and it is the Senate's constitutional right to act as a check on a president and withhold its consent. As Chairman Grassley and I declared weeks ago and reiterated personally to President Obama, the Senate will continue to observe the Biden rule so that the American people have a voice in this momentous decision. The American people may well elect a president who decides to nominate Judge Garland for Senate consideration. The next president may also nominate somebody very different. Either way, our view is this: give the people a voice in filling this vacancy.
In case there was any doubt about the extent of McConnell's hypocrisy, that right there should put it to rest. Which is why it is so important that Democrats follow Biden's lead here and demand, breathlessly and forcefully, that no nomination put forward until the American people have had a chance to choose a president on November 3rd. And if and when McConnell does put Trump's nominee forward, that a relentless barrage of pressure be put on vulnerable Republican senators, like Tom Tillis and Susan Collins and Cory Gardner and Martha McSally and Joni Ernst and Lindsey Graham, who, coincidentally, said this in 2018.
Justice Scalia dies in 2016. The primary process is ongoing. And if you look back in 100 years, nobody has been replaced under that circumstance. If you listen to what Joe Biden said in Bush 41, you should hold it over to the next election. Joe is right a lot. So I felt like I was doing the traditional thing there. When it came to Sotomayor and Kagan, I thought I did the traditional thing. Now I'll tell you this. This may make you feel better, but I really don't care. If an opening comes in the last year of President Trump's term and the primary process is started, we'll wait to the next election. And I've got a pretty good chance of being the judiciary.
You're on the record.
Yeah.
All right.
Hold the tape.
I know that fear of hypocrisy has never stopped Republicans, but calling them out for it should be everyone's full-time job. But here's the thing, regardless of what happens, it is our job to vote. Because even in the event that a new justice is seated on the court, there still exists the option that once Democrats take power, we add justices to the court. And mark my words, that is exactly what we should do. But that's only done with a majority. So if Republicans want to completely undermine the will of the voters, then if Democrats take the Senate and the White House in November, we can take steps to rectify it. But the only way to do that is to make your voice heard and vote. The fact is that the next 45 days are going to be even more difficult than we thought. But our job is to fight. It's to call your senators, especially if they're Republicans, and demand that they follow their own rule from 2016 and refuse to confirm a justice until after Inauguration Day. It's to register your friends and family members and coworkers and neighbors, even if they're not political, because the ramifications of a 6-3 conservative court impact everyone, and especially young people who have to live with those decisions. It's to fight like hell for the next 46 days so that when this is over, regardless of what happens, you aren't left wondering what else you could have done. The time to leave it all out on the field is right now. While you're here, please subscribe to my podcast, No Lie with Brian Tyler Cohen, where I take a deeper dive into the week's biggest stories and interview major players in the world of politics, like Kamala Harris, Adam Schiff, Katie Porter, Nancy Pelosi, Cory Booker, Eric Swalwell, and many more. Again, that's No Lie with Brian Tyler Cohen, available anywhere you listen to podcasts.